Clinton County Board of Elections Precinct Election Official Training, November 3rd, 2020 General Election. Single Precinct PEO Roles and Responsibilities. Clinton County has 14 polling locations. 5 of these locations serve only one precinct. They tend to be in rural parts of the county. The other 9 polling locations house several precincts, from 2 to 7 precincts in one location. Each single precinct polling location has a voting location manager who is a Republican. Each precinct team is made up of 4 members: the VLM, PEO number 2, a Democrat, PEO number 3, a Republican, and PEO number 4, a Democrat. This year, we will hire extra workers to help manage lines, assist with curbside voting, and to fill in wherever needed. A Guide to Election Speak. BOE, Board of Elections. PEO, Precinct Election Official, also known as poll worker, election judge, or ballot judge. VLM, a Voting Location Manager. EPB, Electronic Poll Book or the Poll Pad. PLB, Polling Location Binder, accordion folder with a handle that houses paperwork for each precinct. PEO Basic Expectations. Voting options for PEOs. All PEOs should vote either early in person at the Board of Elections Vote Center or by absentee ballot by mail. You might be assigned to your polling location, but we may move you to a different location at the last minute if there's a shortage in another polling location. You cannot leave the polling location during Election Day, so plan ahead and request your absentee ballot now, or review the early in-person voting schedule and mark your calendar for your voting day at the Board of Elections. The election schedule shows that we've already completed the first week of early voting. As we get closer to Election Day, we increase our hours to include evening hours and weekends. All VLMs and PEOs are required to report for duty at their assigned precinct or polling location on Election Day morning by 5:30 a.m. All VLMs and PEOs should dress in business casual attire. Do not wear anything that could be perceived as political in nature. PEOs are required to wear PPE, personal protective equipment, such as a face covering or mask and a face shield in some cases. All PPE will be provided by the BOE, but PEOs may bring their own masks. Do not discuss candidates, questions, and issues or anything political while working on Election Day. If a voter presses you for an opinion, explain that on Election Day you are working as a representative of the Board of Elections and cannot display any partiality. The single precinct voting location organizational layout looks like this. However, the table organization may vary depending on the location and COVID protocols. The VLM for a single precinct manager's duties. Contact all of the PEOs assigned to your precinct to verify they are working and know how to get to the polling location. We recommend you do this 2 weeks before the election and no later than 1 week before the election. All VLMs should visit their polling location prior to Election Day. All VLMs should also visit their polling location prior to Election Day if this is the first time working at that location, to make sure you know where you're going on the morning of the election. VLM acts as the manager of the polling location. They assist with provisional voters and curbside voters and monitor the ballot supply to ensure accuracy and inventory. Officially opening and closing the polls and administering the oath to all PEOs, assigning tasks, scheduling breaks, communicating issues or concerns to the BOE, operating the electronic poll book, and determining if a voter is a regular or provisional voter. The VLM must be proficient with the poll pad voter check-in process, ClearCast ballot scanner, and Clear Access ballot marking system. The VLM will be the lead in the event of an emergency and communicate directly with the Board of Elections Director and Deputy Director. The VLM is also responsible for picking up supplies on the Saturday before the election. Single precinct VLMs are required to pick up their assigned precinct election supplies on Saturday, October 31st between 9 and 11 a.m. at the Board of Elections office. If you are unable to pick up your supplies on that Saturday, you will need to make arrangements with us to pick them up on Sunday, November 1st. Single precinct VLM should check their blue supply bag as soon as possible after picking up the election supplies to make sure nothing is missing. If you are missing anything, please call the office immediately. 11 and 4 voter lists are posted at the polling location at 3 times. Before the polls open, a listing of all voters assigned to that polling location. At 11 a.m., showing who voted between 6:30 a.m. and 11 a.m., and 4 p.m., showing who voted up to 4 p.m. The posting of these lists is the responsibility of the VLM. The first list posted before the polls open can be found in the VLM supplies. The list for the 11 and 4 should be printed by the VLM using the electronic poll books. All lists must be returned to the Board of Elections. PEO number 2 assists the VLM with voters by examining presented voter ID for validity. They assist with provisional voters. PEO number 2 records the ballot stub number in the ballot poll book after PEO number 3 issues the ballot to the voter. They operate the electronic poll book when the VLM is on breaks and assist the VLM in the event of an emergency. Ballot poll book page for provisional voters. The back of the ballot poll book has blank yellow pages for recording the information for provisional voters. PEO number 2 is responsible for recording voter information in this section for the provisional voters. Provisional voting is discussed in greater detail in a separate video. PEO number 3 issues the ballot to the voter with the secrecy sheet, carefully checking the precinct split number on the ballot against the ballot request slip for accuracy. Manages the ballot stock and reports to the VLM if any ballot style is running low. Reports the ballot stub number to PEO number 2. Receives the ballot stub from PEO number 4 after the voter has finished marking the ballot and is ready to scan it. PEO number 4 assists voters who request assistance while voting. However, if a voter does need assistance with marking their ballot, PEO number 4 must also have a PEO of the opposite political party present. They collect the ballot stubs and secrecy sheets from voters after they are done voting, distribute the I voted stickers, and monitor the votomatics throughout the day for cleanliness, missing pens, campaign literature, etc. And they assist with ClearCast ballot scanners and ensure that no provisional ballots are scanned. At the end of the night, your VLM will assign tasks to each PEO. After the ballots are reconciled, the ballots are locked into the red supply bag and supplies are packed into the blue bag. The polling location binder, the green poll pad case, the red supply bag with the ballots, and blue supply bags are packed into a PEO's car. The ballots in the red bag must be under the watchful eye of the PEOs at all times. A Republican PEO and a Democratic PEO must ride in the same car with the ballots back to the Board of Elections. Pro PEO tip. To account for this, precinct teams have planned who is going to be responsible for this important task in advance, and those 2 PEOs have met at the BOE in the morning. They drive together in one car to the polling location. Then the PEOs both have their cars there to drive home after a long day of being an election superhero. Click the link in the notes under this video to take the quiz.